You'll come to find that with Baptiste, your cooldown management means everything. Thus, every rank is very similar in terms of what you need to improve to become even better at Baptiste. More specifically, almost every Baptiste struggles with the same problems: poorly timed immortality fields, overusing regenerative bursts, and or using too many healing grenades before the fight starts. Today, we will be covering one that I haven't covered a lot yet on this channel, and that is the overuse of regenerative bursts. I personally have and still do struggle with this concept, but it's more of a matter of highlighting the mistake than one that takes extensive amounts of practice like the immortality field. So, hopefully what I have to say on this VOD can help all of you improve at Baptiste no matter the rank. That all being said, before we do get into the video, thank you guys so much for supporting me to 1,000 subscribers. It feels so great to also have such a supportive audience in the comments as well. This weekend, I will also be taking some time to myself with my family, as I have been working on a lot of projects behind the scenes for you guys. But be ready for Monday, because I will then start my Unranked to GM Ana only series over on Twitch. Thank you guys all again so much. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and if you do have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. See you all in the next one. If you want to introduce yourself, Slick, your SR, what you've been playing, and what you think you did wrong this game, or something you want to look at.
I mean, I am Slick. I am a support player that plays Baptiste, 3.2k right now, SR, and I think that the problem I had with this game was just that I died from DPS that flanked too much, or I didn't rotate fast enough with my main tank.
Okay. So I can see how that is a problem, because they're running double bubble and a Kree Echo, so it's going to be a lot of weird spam stuff happening on the side. Let me fix one thing real quick. It's going to be a lot of weird spam stuff happening on the side, and yeah, rotations. I'm pretty sure I said something about that this game. I'm not exactly sure. Or no, that was the King's Row game. So yeah, just a little bit, for anyone that's watching this on YouTube, if I do end up uploading this, Troll Breath is me, and Shocker is queued with us. I don't think anyone else is. No. It's just me, Slick, Shocker. Let's get into it. I don't remember if we won or lost this game. I'm pretty sure we lost it because the team was a little scrappy, but let's see what we could have done better. Yeah, off the bat, comp's good for Bap. Let's see what happens. Alright, we're walking with our Rhine. Okay, we're not wasting any nades. That's good. We're left clicking. Alright, that right there, just earlier, some idle time still. It's more min-maxing than I'm saying here. I could get really, be a big stickler and get into crosshair placement, but no, that's fine. Okay, like the left click on Zarya, that's good. Immediately, like as Bap, you should be supporting your hit scan with killing an Echo or a Pharah, because you're very proficient at doing that. So like this idle time right here, I get it's only like a second or two, but it's just the idea that you should be looking to pressure their Echo or Pharah when you can. Especially on Ana as well. It's one of those things that like Ana can excel at, because she does so much damage. She doesn't do a lot of damage, but the damage she provides is enough to like make an Echo or a Pharah kind of question whether or not they should be peeking. So that can also help you with like, if you're struggling against flankers, it can kind of put them in check yourself, so that they have to kind of question whether they even want to just push you. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Also, am I streaming in Discord or no?
Yeah, you are.
All right, cool. So right here, yeah, you're just looking to the left click. Okay, I would honestly probably reload before you engage, but this is fine. This is what we do. Regen burst wasn't needed, probably. The weaving isn't awful here though. The aim can be a lot better, that's for sure. But I don't know if this was the first game on, so that wasn't awful. It could have been better though. I think a lot of that, the regen burst was not needed. That was kind of obvious. I mean, you could have reloaded sooner there to mitigate that, but it's not that, like, that's a lot of very nitpicky stuff. I think crosshair placement, bringing it up a little bit and just trying to look for damage is better. But alright, this is probably where things start to go downhill. Struggling hit shots there, it's whatever. Alright, you're not just right click botting, so there's definitely improvement. The thing is that the problem with that there is that you got dove on, and because you're inside of bubble, no one else gets that regen burst. I can understand why you might have wanted to do that because you thought you might have died, but the thing is he doesn't have a diva. I think you can trust your Lucio, but where is your Lucio? Your Lucio's there to help you. So I think that regen burst was a little bit preemptive. And you also have to understand that the interaction of like beat, healing in general, it gets blocked by shields.
Okay, so once he is diving me like that, I should just think, okay, as long as he's not with a diva, I just think, okay, I can at least try to get out of the bubble, as long as he's not pressuring me too hard, and then pop it.
Here's the thing: if he jumps on you and he punches you before he jumps, and like you see that you're low, like to 100 on the initial dive, I think you should be using your left shift. This guy didn't do that. He also didn't really have any support from his team. It's one of those things where it's like if a dude's gonna dive you like that and you can get away with not using your regenerative burst, you getting away with that is literally gonna win a fight because you have he used all of his cooldowns, probably gonna die, and you used nothing. It's kind of like that min-max kind of stuff that'll help you climb at higher ranks. Because it's not really a mistake at this point for him. He somehow gets out still. That's weird. He has a primal. That's probably what he's going for. And then we are mispositioned as a team. That's not really your fault because our rotation in was kind of weird. Okay, you're playing through Ryan. This is good. Your Ryan's chilling. I was a little aggressive, but you should be fine. That's so close to killing a Hanzo. What happened there? Looks like a lack of awareness. I mean, where's your Lucio dying? Oh. I mean, if you hear a Sombra that close, I guess you could do a quick reconflict. But I'm not gonna. That's a little. Like, here's the thing. My problem here, and like my problem with what I saw earlier when we were queuing, it felt like there was just like. You hear the Sombra shooting. I feel like you should be looking for that because if she's not targeting you, she's targeting another support that's gonna need help. And you kind of right now, like you're tunnel visioning on the front line, which it doesn't look awful. Can you actually hear the audio, by the way? Of like Overwatch?
Yeah, I can.
So right now you hear the SMG going off. Whenever you hear an SMG or like a tracer bullets or like a Reaper behind you as a support, like you should be looking to see what's going on because that's like a big threat. And your Ryan isn't in a whole lot of threat. I don't want the main thing I'm trying to say here is I don't want you to get so focused and tunnel visioned on helping your Ryan in the front line that you forget that flankers exist as well. The thing is with Baptiste is flanking against the Baptiste is really difficult because of all of the tools he has. But like right here, you should be like at least peeking to see where the Sombra is and make sure that she's not doing something that's going to lose you the fight, which is 1v1ing your Lucio, which if you turn around and hit one grenade, you win that fight. And the Sombra's throwing. It's a bit nitpicky. And yes, it's a kind of a Lucio mistake. But it could have been mitigated by you. By just being a much better player than the Lucio. That's just unlucky, whatever. Bad rotation out by your team. That's really risky. So a cleaner rotation there. And not putting yourself in that. Like, here's the thing. If you're giving up this high ground up there and they have a Hanzo, you don't want to be standing out or you want to be next to your Ryan. So right there, again, it's like a split second outside of cover, but you are here. You want to make sure you're playing the cover so you're not taking spam damage and dying to that. If you die to that, it's kind of bullshit. It feels like that, but it can be mitigated if you are just already thinking about it. And when you start thinking about it at this level, it'll just become second nature, and I won't have to say anything about it. Inspirational pin by me. I thought I could get him on the jump. Whatever. Left clicking shield. Yeah, that's fine. I would say still rotate into the Ryan, or just call for that. Yeah, I'm okay with the regenerative burst. I don't think it was needed. I think it was a little bit panicky, but you'll trust yourself with time. Ooh, that was risky. Missed the jump. Let's see if you hit that jump better. Do they live? No, that's a misplay on Shocker. He heard the dragon, saw it coming, and just still went right into it. That's more on him than you. That's just a lost fight again. I would skip past and get into fights, but if rotations are a problem, we should probably look at it. Also, if you have any questions or like at all with what I'm saying or like with what's going on in the game, what you should be doing, just let me know.
Yeah, sure.
Right now, it doesn't look awful. It looks like you could be doing more though, which is kind of important when you have games where people aren't really performing. So right here, this is more my fault because you're very susceptible to dying to a Hanzo here. If I'm up there because I'm autopiloting and I'm tired and I've been playing for a while, or even if the Ryan just isn't good, like me, I guess, in this situation, you can call for me to just back up and help you through and rotate here, because you're really susceptible to dying to that Hanzo. So, like, make sure that you're being vocal about what you need, because I can't see what's going on your screen, if that makes sense. And then that's another thing. I want you to communicate more, because I don't think you communicate enough. Like, I feel like when we play in a stack, you kind of feel like you don't want to talk, because if you say something wrong, it's gonna fuck the team up. Like, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of right.
Because it's intimidating when you're playing with better players. Because this happened with me when I would be like tier 3 and ringing in tier 2 for a contenders team. It's very intimidating to calm and be confident because you're playing with people that you think are better. But you have to kind of put that all aside and just be like, I am a good player, and what I say matters. If you say something that's wrong, that's fine, because it's better than not saying anything at all, because then you can learn from it, you know? Because I'm sure this isn't the only time that you're kind of rotating through open space, and I'm kind of like just no brain hammering the enemy team, and like you don't say anything. Because it happens with me too. Like, I need to be corrected as well. Didn't need as many nades, didn't need the regen burst. The thing with regen burst is that you don't want to get into the habit of using it as a panic because you don't think you can aim well. And that's like the big thing I'm seeing right now. I haven't been saying it a lot, but it's definitely there. Like right there, that's a good regen burst because that's cleave damage from a Winston. I wish you would have had it now. Didn't need the MO there. I think you immediately said, wow, I didn't need MO. You could have put yourself in a much easier position had you had regen burst. And yeah, it's just a last fight. I think with a better regen burst, that fight goes a lot better. Because regen burst is like Moira's heal, where if you tap it, you'll heal over... you'll heal consecutively, like, over a few seconds. And, like, on engagements, in situations like that where people are taking weird cleave poke damage, I think the regen burst is better than using it early when you don't have to. It's kind of the same thing as Immo. This character is all abilities. It kind of sucks.
Maintain that positive attitude.
And if you're wondering why we pushed forward and we didn't help you, it's because there was no helping that. The better call was just to take point and try to get some kills, which we ultimately do. Good play by the Rhine. Pat myself on the back. Okay, jumping over that. That's good. Good job not using the ammo there. That takes some balls. Yeah, I'm okay with this personal window. Aim is a little shaky. Your aim, that was a good shot. I'll get into that if I need to. Ammo wasn't needed. I'm not gonna say that because you understand why.
Yeah, I just didn't see it. I didn't see what was shooting at you. I thought it was like someone else, someone with threatening, like the Winston or something.
Okay, then.
And I saw that you were crit. I just thought, okay, should I just use it now, or should I just like take the chance and just hope that you're fine?
So here's the thing. I get crit. So like, I can see why you might, because like the Ferric should keep rocketing me there, but the moment you I think you can. No, you can't see. I mean, you'd be able to see a rocket coming down. I can see what you're saying. I think this kind of goes into like being more aware of what's going on. Because like, here's the thing, this entire fight, tabbing to see what they have, like they don't have their DPS. I'm shielding the Zarya. I think a lot of your problem is kind of like awareness and regen burst usage right now. Your immos, I don't think it's something wrong with the immos. I think it's more something wrong with the regen bursts or just awareness in general. But I can see kind of why you were led astray. In retrospect, it's always easier. But if you see a rocket coming down, I think the ammo is good. If you see the rocket going into the backline, which is what it was happening, you can definitely get away with it. That's a good regen burst. Ooh, this is actually a really good lesson. Alright, let's go through this again. The Rhine's full. He's taking lots of damage. Some missed shots in there, whatever. You absolutely rolled that Sombra. That was fantastic. Okay, step one, didn't need the ammo. Because I have bubble, we're good, we're chilling. Regen burst is good. Okay. Right here. Threat levels. Who is in more danger?
You, right now.
Yes,
Just
that's
because
right.
listen.
I get blown up so quick that... Here's the thing, like, because the thing is, I was bubbled off. Left click, left click. You would have had to be thinking, let's break shield and help Ryan. I think, again, that's a really hard thing to kind of know as a player that's still learning BAP in the game. To just kind of be like, yeah, we need to break bubble, and like that's what I should be focusing on to help Ryan. Again, though, let's see how fast I die. 230 health. Yeah, I just got... Here's the thing. Imagine if you had immo there. You would have been able to immo the corner. We would have been game. I think that's more so an awareness problem that affected your immortality, not you not understanding how to use immort. Because we've already been through that whole lesson in Rant. Shocker being a little bit aggressive when the Zarya should have been. Causing you to reload. That's a little bit on your team. Yeah. Also, I would be aiming your grenades to hit their feet, not their chest. Because here's the thing, you're ending up missing a lot of your shots. Where, like, here's the thing, if you shoot it in a way that it's gonna like hit their feet if it directs, but if it doesn't hit their feet, it at least splashes them. I think that's a lot better. I'm not gonna go over that because we only have half an hour left, but that kind of makes sense. Ish. Any helloers?
Yeah, I got that. I was just writing it down.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Let me get some water.
Alright.
Okay. But moving forward, yeah, okay, the nano, you're out. Leave, don't go in. Like limit testing? Yeah. I wouldn't classify this as limit testing though on VAP. Limit testing is far more extreme. So I don't want to say that, but it's kind of like that concept of understanding how much you can get away with, I guess. Which is limit testing, but that's not what I would recommend. That's a huge pick. We should then immediately be pushing. Okay, they forced out sleep. It's huge. Again, not a good regen burst. Everyone's full. The only person that needs healed is Zarya. You can do that with your right clicks. It's very panicky. It was like how your immos were before. That's a good immo, because you were going to die. Shouldn't have taken... Yeah, here's the thing. Let's look at this regen burst usage. Let's run it back. It's the same idea. Let's get this out of that frame. It's the same idea of you used immo early here, then you don't have immo, and when you could have used it here, you lose the fight because of it. It's starting to become the same thing with regen burst. And here's the thing, this is really hard to change. It is the big thing that makes my BAP dog meat, because I haven't practiced it yet. I've been focusing on my immortalities. Let's see here. Like, why use regen burst? You're 200 health, you got booped. It was a panic thing because you thought you got hit by a rocket. So because of that, for this 5 seconds here, you then actually start taking a 1v1 when you probably could have taken the regen burst here a little bit sooner than that, and you probably would have been fine and you wouldn't have needed to use the immort, because now you're only on 20 health, and you rotating to the high ground is going to kill you because now you're susceptible to dying to the Sombra. You could have, I mean, I'm really hard focusing on the regen burst here, but what you could have done better from that point is instead of jumping up, because you see the Pharah leaving, you could have just played this bottom part here, because taking a high ground when you're that low, when they have a Sombra, or even as Pharah, is very, very risky. That's another misplay. Here, let me draw it out. The main misplay was the fact that you used regen burst, but going here is better than jumping up here, because then you are going to die to just easy poke damage from Sombra. Well, I gotta get off. If you are streaming later, I might be back. Well, I'm probably not going to stream much later, but thank you, Berserker, for coming in. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned something. But yeah, what were you saying earlier?
What was I saying earlier? Oh, I was saying that I think I used regen because I thought someone else behind me was taking damage, like from the Pharah rockets. Like
here's the thing. You understand that regenerative burst only does 15 healing per second. So putting that into perspective, that's not going to save your teammate. It's much easier to save your teammate by just turning around and right clicking. Now, if it's like a Sombra or a Winston, yeah, regen burst, that's something you can use on. But here's the thing: when it's a Pharah, the regen burst isn't going to help your teammate. It's not. Turning around and doing is better. And to be honest, if the Winston is jumping your backline, if the Winston's jumping your backline, even then, turning around, you don't need to waste your regen burst if someone's feeding that hard. Like, if the Pharah is feeding this hard, you can literally just right click and you'll be fine. But the fact that you used your regen burst early is making that they actually got value out of a dumb play. Because she should have already died. Two, then she actually got value out of it, which is tough. I like to visualize enemy LOS to decide positioning. Yes, it's kind of the idea of line of scrimmage. I don't know if you've watched any of that kind of stuff. The problem with this here is that he's in a good spot of the line of scrimmage. The problem is that he's low and there's a Sombra. This isn't as bad and as big of a mistake if he had regen burst, which is why I'm not really focusing on positioning here. Because it was more a regenerative burst mistake, masked. And hello, welcome back. Because then you die here to stupid poke damage. See, here's the thing, and this is why I like you as a player, is because you already realized your mistake and you were rotating down here. It's just that idea of noticing that this up here, well, noticing that this up here was a mistake in the first place, so you can just avoid it altogether. But it's a constant battle of improving, so I understand. Any questions?
I'm good for now.
Okay. Okay, yep, this is good. Like, yeah, reload, we're good. Very early on the bubble there. That was when I called that they have barrage, we can't go top, and then everyone continued to go top. That is a team mistake, not a you mistake. Yeah, Immo, it kind of staggers her a little bit, but it's so nitpicky. Not the main thing we should be looking at.
60 seconds remaining.
My ultimate is ready.
Man, Shocker is just not inspirational right now. No hate to Shocker, but he's not doing well. That is so risky, dude. Do you know why?
I'm jumping out in the middle.
You do not want to jump out in the middle of choke. I don't care that they have a Pharah Sombra and it's not that risky, but please don't do that. You're better than that. You trust yourself to aim the grenade from up here across. Also, there's really no reason to ever jump this cover Unless you like are here, which you shouldn't be here. You should be around here, and then you should rotate that corner. It's nitpicky for the map, but don't do that. You're better than that. I know you know that's a mistake.
Okay.
Where did your Kree die? Let's see if this is a you mistake or a Kree mistake. Where is your Kree? Oh, he... Yo, what? Yeah, no, he's a lost cause. He was still in there, it's whatever. I mean, you could have maybe not tunnel vision, but whatever. Like that's a good regenerative burst. I like this. You're in a 1v1, you need it for yourself, that's great. You lived, whatever, your aim could have been better, this, that, whatever. Okay, man, I think okay, my play isn't that bad. It's really risky. I shouldn't have done that. I can see why I'm thinking that, because there's 4 people on our back line. Let's just push, but is our Lucio dead? Our Lucio was in the back. Yeah, I don't think our Lucio died. He just was carting back. Yeah, okay. This right here is probably going to cause you mistakes because of my mistake. I thought the Lucio was there. Not your fault. Not your fault at all. Okay. That was the fault of its last fight. I thought Lucio was with us. Just got done hooping. Your knees are old. Damn, that's tough. Yo, Kabowski with the spray. Let's go. This is just not gonna happen, right? If you really wanted to jump up there and get a better angle on your immo, that is justifiable, because you missed the immo there. Okay, whatever. So the big thing I'm seeing here is awareness, number 1. Making sure you're aware of what's going on and never questioning, and not being scared when you're playing either. Like, be confident. You're not a bad player. I feel like if you get out of your shell and just, like, get confidence, not an ego, but get confidence, you're definitely going to play better. Because it looks kind of scared, and it's like, dude, you're better. Like, you're good. You're not trash. You're doing well. Just play. If you have an ego, you'll become number 1. No, you'll. No, not gonna talk about it.
Attackers incoming.
Depends on the ego that you have. Okay. The nade wasn't needed, but at least you didn't spam it. I mean, that's 2 nades you don't need. Whatever. It's so much better than so many people at your rank. It's like, whatever. See, this was good awareness. My only problem is that you looked there a little bit too long. What's going on in the front line? Thank God I'm not getting run down on. It's like a quick look over, hit the nade on the wall, look at the Rhine, look over. It's kind of like a, you look there, you look there, you look there, you look there. You have to make sure that both is intact, because if they ran me over, I'm dead. The thing is, the awareness was good. It was very, 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 very good. Could have done a little bit better in multitasking a bit. Because now you're still looking over there. Your Rhine needs the help there. Because, like, here's the thing. It's okay to look to the left. You have to assess the situation in the front line and make sure that your front line doesn't need it more. Because you have to understand that the Reinhardt is the most important character when you're playing a Brawl comp. Because if Rhine dies, your comp dies. You're against double bubbles, so I don't matter as much, but the thing is, keeping that space, here, like, let's think about this in a line of scrimmage. Because you're looking here the whole time, and you're sitting right here. I am right here. Imagine if I die. Then, like, the line of scrimmage went from here to, like, here, and you're just dead. Because if I die here, you die. Easily. Here's the thing. I don't want you just to think, hey, let me just never look at the Echo and kill her. The problem is your whole team there has an Ana there that's healthy now. They're not doing, like, they're all low. It's cool that you're supporting that. But the thing is, you can also just quick peek over here, see like, oh, he needs a quick nade, cool. That's 70 healing against a Winston. That's like a whole second or two worth of damage from Winston's Tesla cannon. That's not going to kill me, especially if I have armor, because then he does even less damage. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I get that.
Because it's like you are missing shots here, and you're not going to miss shots on Orion. That could also be an argument, just to make it easier. But it's like the first part of awareness where the person was flanking was good. The awareness of what was happening in the front line was lost. And that's not what you need. You need to be aware of everything. And you can do that just by like thinking, well, in this situation, in this comp, what do I need to do? Then you can be looking for things that you need to be aware of. Instead of just the videos on YouTube of saying, yeah, guys, just be more aware. Just look around. Just see what's happening. That's not the way to go about it. You have to understand what you're doing. Which I hope you do. Or that I at least highlighted what you could have been aware of. I'm a very aggressive Reinhardt. I'm very hard to keep up with. Miss nades, whatever. It's fine to take the start of the fight up there on Island, but if they start spamming at you, you have to drop. I would argue that you should be really aggressive here and actually be looking for left clicks with the Rhine. Because when you see your Rhine starting to tilt their shield and look this way, that's generally like, hey, they're not pushing left. This is time for you to like, I'm putting the shield up so you don't get messed up by someone that's like a straggler. Or you can get alt charge here. Or like, hey, I'm making sure they're actually committing so then I can rotate here. You're getting better about not having idle space. In terms of like between fights, you're not doing anything. You're getting better about that. It could be even better. Again, not something you should focus 100%. Just something I want to note so that you can think about it. That's good direct nades. Should be rotating back into. Yep, this is good. This is solid. You saw that the Winston just jumped up. Look at what he's jumping on. It's quick. It's like 0.5 seconds where you would be doing nothing if you're just looking at this angle. Now, I get that there's an echo, but that's, again, you can rotate it to left, look up there, look at the echo, do something. Because if here's the thing, if your Ana's up there, then you're like, okay, my Ana's going to rotate back into this building. If you absolutely need to throw the immo for your Ana, you now know that you can. And your Ana doesn't die, you carry for her mistake, you win the game, you get out of diamond, you hit masters. I'm okay with that regen burst. Because it could have been it could have been abused had the team you were against been better. If they got those stickies off. So like right here, what she'd be doing, probably looking to see if anyone's gonna come through. Everyone's pretty healthy. I think you can be quicker about it there. It's been good for most of the game. I'm starting to see something with it. Like right now, I'd be like, Echo, you're hearing the shots are coming above you. You should be looking up, especially when you see this damage beam. And you're Bap. You are deadly against flying characters. He does more damage than Soldier. A shot. If you didn't know that, you know that now. And that's something you gotta just know when you're playing Bap, that you're a menace. You eventually do it, you could have been doing sooner.
My ultimate.
Okay, now you're doing it. That's just unlucky. He got rolled. I don't like your positioning here. On this map, the Mega on the left side is your best friend. Right here. You see, you know what I'm talking about? This room is your best friend as any flex support, period. As any character, period. The moment that you play back here, especially against an Echo, you die. You just lose. And trust me, if your Rhine is good, your Rhine will make sure that this room is not pushable. Or you will know that the Rhine wants to rotate into this room instead. The Rhine will never, if the Rhine is good, will never want to rotate back here. Ever. Let's go back at that ammo. I need to see if it was good or not. I was too focused on repositioning. That's a good regen burst. Here's the thing. You wouldn't have needed this ammo if you played inside and played for the mega. It's not an ammo problem. That's a positional problem. Yeah, shoot that Genji. Why are you healing? Shoot that man. I think the big problem there was more positioning than anything. Whatever. Alright, they have a Genji and an Echo. You don't need that regen burst. Why?
I think it's because I thought I would get it by the time they were already pushing. As she's literally
12 seconds, not worth. Ana doesn't have ult charge, not worth. Trust your Ana, especially when your Ana is safe and chilling. Don't waste it. It's the same. Did I tell you the thing about threat levels with Immo? It's the same thing with regen burst for yourself, which is the first step to not using it as much. Am I in immediate danger? Can I get away with my off support healing me? Stuff like that. Are we pushing? Are we engaging? Regen bursting on an engage is also very strong. If you use it too much for yourself, you're losing out on a lot of value. Positioning better here. Missing shots, whatever. Let's look at this again. This is good. You're at 117. I don't think you need a. I don't think you needed a regenerative burst. I don't think you needed it in that situation in retrospect. But I heard Echo flying above you. You could argue that you would have thought that Echo would be pushing you, and then you use the regenerative burst. If you're 117 though, and the Zarya is not max charge, and you can get away with like living one more grenade, I wouldn't really regen burst there. It could go either way. That's one of your better tough to say ones. So look for damage there. Damage with healing. You don't need to heal all the time. You can also damage, weave, healing, and damage. Missed shots. Unlucky. Don't television too hard. Like, one shot's enough for a soldier, especially when your Ana's alive. Like, let your Ana heal that up. The thing is, you're tunnel visioning so hard that what's going on in the front line? Oh, shit. Well, I mean, if the Ryan was there, it's just something that you need to know at all times, especially when you're playing BAP, because the front line is so important when you're playing BAP with Brawl. Looking for an ammo? Very good. Okay, so here's the thing. When you see a Genji playing from top, you can ammo below. Especially when the grab's in this weird location. I think putting it under is much better because the pressure is not under, the pressure's up top. It's something that you really have to be looking for and understand before. It has more cover under because the Hanzo's up top and the Genji's up top. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
You could argue that it gets more people in the MO up top for the initial burst. The problem is that Genji kills it. That's a very high level MO. That's a GG's then. Okay, and that's game. So here's the thing. I understand that this was a lot shorter than other VODs that we've had, but this session I think is really important for all people to understand. And that is that regenerative burst is something that is really, really important at these ranks. As well as positioning. So the first thing I want you to do, look over regen. I'm just gonna just write out regen. Regen burst. It's the same thing I told you last time. about, and this goes for everyone watching as well. It's kind of the same idea as immortality, but it's more so for yourself. Understanding like when do I use regen burst here? Like, do I need to use it if I take a shot from a Pharah or an Echo? In some situations, yes, you do, because that Echo is still targeting you, or that rocket is still, like, she's looking to rocket you again. It all depends upon what's my threat level. I should probably draw this out. Threat. What, like, how much danger am I in? And can I get away with healing myself or letting my off support heal up for me? If you're gonna die if you don't use that regen burst, you should use it. If your team gets dynamited, you should use regen burst, because that's alt charge. That keeps your team healthy as well. If your team's going to engage, that is also a great way to use regen burst. If you want to use regen burst preemptively when you're engaging, or when you're full health and your team is going to walk in so that you can focus on damage, that's another thing that you can use regen burst. The thing that you don't want to use regen burst is, like what most people do with Ana's nades, is to use it on yourself. Because that is an ability that can get so much value if you use it correctly, that if you use it on yourself so much, you lose value. Now, don't get me wrong, using Ana's nade on yourself, that is something that you will likely do at least once or twice every single game, but more often than not, you should be using those abilities to be aggressive. Because that's effective HP at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that.
So
What if
don't...
you're aiming at people's feet too, with M2s, like you said.
Yeah, we'll get into that then, because that's... I always say something about that. But the regen burst stuff kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
It's something that you will lose games because you're trying to get better at it, but it's something that needs to get better. It needs to. Because if it doesn't get better, it's going to cause you to lose games. Like, you're going to lose cooldowns like Immo, and then when you start losing cooldowns like Immo, that's losing you games. Because BAP is all about immortality field. Step 2, positioning and understanding. I don't think it's positioning as much. I think number 2 is more so awareness, and then you can position yourself around being aware. If Sombra is peppering you in the backline, that is something you need to be aware of, where she is, who she's targeting, because if she's targeting your Zarya, it's not really that big of a deal. If she's targeting your Lucio or your Zen, that's a problem. You need to help with that. If the Winston's jumping out of your line of sight behind you on the high ground, you need to make sure that your Ana isn't there. You need to understand who he is diving. If you just don't look there, that's not gonna be great. And the thing is, that's not gonna help you. It's not gonna be great. It's like so vague. That's not gonna help you win the fight, and you're hindering yourself, because then you don't know if the Winston. Here's the thing, it affects the way you play. So like if Winston jumps on the high ground and the Ana is there, you can immo. If no one's there and the Winston's just taking space, what if your team wants to push out into the enemy team that's like back of first point? Well, now you have to be aware that the Winston's behind you, and you gotta understand that he is going to try to bait your immo or your regenerative burst. You have to understand how your enemy's gonna play. It helps figure out how you're gonna play. If the Echo is flying above your team in main, pressure her out. Don't let that beam just sit there. Be aware that your job can be to pressure that angle out. It's something that takes time. And for me, the thing is that makes it really hard for me to coach it is that I literally just woke up one day on console. I'm like, yo, dude, I'm just going to be aware. And I just knew what was going on so much. I don't know what happened. It just kind of clicked for me. I'm not sure if that's how it works for everyone else. Probably not, because every player is different. But try to understand what's going on and the things that are very threatening, how you can avoid them, how you can play against them. That's really important. Yeah, pause champ on the music, my fault. Shit. Okay. 3, hello flower, by the way. 3, we're just talking, I mean, positioning, I could say something about that, but I think the positioning kind of goes into the awareness. It's kind of like the fact that you messed up some immos. It wasn't really the fact that you did immo wrong, it's the fact that you did these things wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I understand that.
So if anything, the last thing I'm going to say is to make sure you're actually aim training. I understand that you kind of just get on and play. There are a lot of missed opportunities because you missed shots. That's just something I want you to continue doing. That's what I tell everyone to continue doing. Aim arena 15-30 minutes a day. That's all you need, at least as a warm-up. I'm doing something with Kovacs right now, so I can tell you if aim training through those is important for specific characters. I don't know. But the last thing, aiming at feet. When you're trying to feet, yo, yeah, look at the yeah, this is content. This is the most content I've had this entire VOD. Okay, I don't want you to aim at feet all the time. If it's a DPS and they're kind of out in the open like that soldier was, that is something that you can aim at their feet to make sure that you're hitting your shot, because missing a shot is far more impactful than you hitting the 70 shot. Like, if you are missing 50 heals, you're missing out on 50 heals effectively, then you're missing out on 20 heals. And the thing is, if you're aiming at their kneecaps, even if you miss their body, you're probably going to hit them with splash the way that you're aiming. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Also, with the way that Overwatch's hitboxes are, the character hitboxes, every character's lower torso is actually much bigger than their upper torso, which is good game design in my opinion. So do you have any questions? Did this help? Is there anything you're curious about? Anything you want to go back on? We have 3 minutes.
No, nothing really came up. I think you answered every question. I think I'm good.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to part with before I end the video, the stream?
No. Other than just I'm gonna keep trying to get better.
All right, and I hope to see you again soon.
Yeah,
but with that, I'm going to finish out the VOD. I really appreciate you sending in the VOD, and I'm sure we'll be stacking again sometime soon.
Yeah,
So,
sounds good, man. I'll see you around.
Yeah, peace out, dude. Okay, my parting thoughts with that VOD. He's definitely improved from last time. His resource management is killer for his rank. His immortalities are much better. I think if he's more aware of what's going on and he's more confident as well. I didn't put that in there. I should have put in confidence. He's probably, I'll tell him that later. Being more confident in himself, I think he does a lot better. Again, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, if you do have any questions, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Thank you so much for 1K subs. And with that all the way, I hope this helps you out. But until next time, guys, I got peace out and Paz out. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.